Hi guys, Kelly here with the second tutorial for the APPetit app-friendly digital recipe kit. After viewing the first tutorial, I'm sure you may be wondering how to get down to work and use the various elements from the kit to create your own recipe album. And that's what the remaining videos will show you how to do. But before we get started, I need to clarify that there are a total of 5 tutorial videos and not 6 as mentioned in the first video where I introduced the kit. So in the first video where I reference video 6, it's really video 5. I apologize about that. So the first thing you will probably do before creating any pages with your recipes and photos is figure out the sections you want to use and how you want to organize your book. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 examples of how to create page dividers and filler cards with the section title cards and background papers in your kit. I'll be using the LetterGlow app to create them and then demonstrate how to bring them into the Project Life app. We're going to open up LetterGlow and start a new project. It's going to take a moment for it to open. Click up here and start a new project. And the first one we're going to create will be directly from a photo. In this case, our photo will be a 4x6 horizontal background paper. So you're going to want to navigate to the area of your phone to where you have that stored. And mine here, I'm going to click on the cloud, and mine is actually in Dropbox. So I will click on Dropbox. And I have my recipe kit all the way at the top because I know I'm going to go back and forth with this during the tutorial. So I put a plus sign in front of the name, recipe kit, and then that way it's going to always be at the top of my file organization system here. So I'm going to click on recipe kit, and I am going to choose the 4x6 horizontal pattern background paper right here. And I'm just going to go with the top one, the avocado. And you're going to see this screen that pops up. This is actually a crop screen, and you don't want to do any cropping, so just go ahead and hit apply. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to add one of those section title cards. And the way you do this is you come down to the bottom of your screen and click on the plus sign. And you have the option to either add text or graphics, and we're going to select graphics. Now from this menu, you may not have all of these in here because some of these graphics here are ones that I purchased, but you're only going to be concerned down here with photo and logo. So again, we're going to be pulling this in as a photo. So I'm going to click there, and I'm going to navigate back to Dropbox. Come to Recipe Kit, go to Section Titles, and I'm just going to select the top one, which is Appetizers. Okay, so it's here in the center of the card, and it may look kind of small. If you want to keep it this size, great, but if not, you can enlarge it. And the way you do this is by dragging one of the corners, or you can just press on the plus sign until it is as large as you want to go. And I'm just going to keep mine at 150. Now when you put your thumb or your finger on the card itself, you can see that it'll move around, and you will know that you have it directly in the center when you have that vertical and horizontal yellow crossbars show up. So I'm happy with the way that looks right there. Now you can leave your section title here, as is, or you can add a drop shadow to it, which I'm going to do. Your drop shadow tool is in the scroll bar here, and it is the one that has the white square and the little shadow square behind it. Okay. The color of your drop shadow you can choose by clicking on the little circle next to the plus sign, and you have a color scroll bar that shows up. I usually go with one of the grays, and which shade of gray is going to depend on how dark the background paper is. So I've, I like keeping with, let's try a medium tone here. All right, so that's going to be my drop shadow. Now I want you to click that shadow button again to come back to the shadow toolbar. And since you have chosen your color, you want to play around with the plus and minus signs to determine how large of a drop shadow you want. So if you press the plus sign, you can start to see the drop shadow appear. If you go back the other way, you can make it disappear. So I usually like to keep mine at a size of a 5 or a 10. We'll keep it at a 10 right now. Let's go down to 5. Now, the little circle to the left of the minus sign will allow you to either have a blurred shadow or more of a shadow that has a harsher edge. And you can't see it right here, so I'm just going to make it larger so you can see how large, how big that shadow is, and that it's a very, straight edge. But I don't like that straight edge, so I'm just going to come back down here to a 5, and it's blurred. Okay, so this looks good to me. I'm happy with the way it looks, and I'm going to now save this to my camera roll. If you come down to the bottom of your screen, you have that little tiny black arrow. Click on there, and you have another toolbar, your home toolbar comes up, and click the icon to export, and just save to photos. I'm just going to save this to my camera roll. Okay. Click that back down, and now you will notice if you click this far arrow on the left, your project will be saved in your Let Glow library. It's right there. Okay. So let me ask you, did you notice how the pattern of this background paper was flowing in a vertical manner? What if you wanted the pattern to go horizontally? There is no horizontal 4x6 card where the pattern is flowing horizontal, but we can make one, and I'm going to show you how to manipulate these background papers to get them to go in the direction that you want. So we're going to start a new project again, but this time, instead of choosing your new project from your photos, you're going to start it from a canvas. So I'm going to select canvas. And then from this menu here, I'm going to choose the 3:2 ratio landscape. Next, we're going to add a graphic to our canvas here. So we're going to click plus, we're going to go to graphics, and again, we're going to choose our background paper, bringing it in as a photo. I have mine in Dropbox. Going to Recipe Kit, Background Papers, the 4x6, and this time I'm going to choose the avocado 4x6 card going in the vertical direction. I know this is going to look strange. Okay, I've got this horizontal canvas and a vertical card, but I'm going to rotate the card by coming over here to the rotate tool. It's this, this one right here. And if you just click this arrow, it'll rotate it 90 degrees for you. Okay, so now you can see the pattern is running horizontally. And I'm going to resize this so it fits onto my canvas. And I have figured out that if I resize it, whoops, oh, I knew I was going to do that. I'm still rotating. I need to resize. If I size this up to 200, it fits this 3:2 ratio canvas perfectly. Okay. Now I'm going to add my card, my section title card, by coming over here to Graphics, Photo Logo, Dropbox, section titles, and just clicking on the apps. All right, now I remembered that I had the first one that I did up to a size of 150, so I'm just going to increase it there. And just for practice, let's add the drop shadow. I'm going to go with that one and increase it to a 5. I'm happy with the way it looks, and I'm going to export this one too and save it to photos. This time, let's create a 6x8 divider. So we're going to start a new project in Letterglow once again by clicking New Project, and we're going to start it from a photo, and which means it's going to be one of your background papers. So I have mine again in Dropbox. Come to Recipe Kit and Pattern Backgrounds, and this time I'm going to click 6x8. I'm just going to stick with the avocado because it's right here on the top. It prevents, so I don't have to scroll up and down. And this time I'm going to choose the avocado vertical piece of paper. I don't need to crop it, so just hit apply. Okay. So we have the nice green background paper. We're going to add a graphic, which is our section title card. So again, we're bringing it in as a photo. Come to Dropbox, Recipe Kit, section titles. And I'm just sticking, with the appetizer one. Again, I'm going to increase this to about 150. And I don't want it directly in the center. I'm going to bring this one up a little bit, like that. Let's put a drop shadow behind it. Give it a color. Increase the shadow to 5. There we go. It's as simple as that. Let's export this one. Save to photos. And then come back to your Letterglow library. Let's do this one again, where we're going to take the background paper and rotate it just like we did with the 4x6. So, and this is just good practice for you guys, so you can get very comfortable with Letterglow app. Again, start a new project. This time we are going to select Canvas. And when you're working with something that is a 6x8 background, you're going to want to choose the 4:3 ratio. And we want the portrait orientation. Okay. So now we want to add that background paper to it. Click the plus sign, come to Graphics, Photo Logo. I'm going to come back to my Dropbox, Recipe Kit, Background Papers, 6x8, and this time I'm going to choose the 6x8 background going in the horizontal format. Okay, remember we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. Then we're going to come back here and resize it. This is our resize tool right here. And we're going to resize this one, I believe it is at 300. No, actually it's 400. We're going to go all the way up to 400. So we could just drag one of the corners, make the process go a little bit quicker. We're almost at 400 there. And arrange it. There we go. All right, let's add that section title card. Oh. Graphic. Dropbox. Okay, and I'm going to increase this to 150. Move it up toward the top, add the drop shadow, resize the drop shadow, and I'm happy with that. Again, I'm going to export this one. Save it to photos. Let's do one more size. Come back over to our Letterglow home page, start a new project. We're going to go with selecting our background from Dropbox or wherever you have your papers stored, recipe kit. And this time we are going to work with the 12 by 12 paper. And I'm going to choose my avocado again. I don't need to crop, so just hit apply. And just as we've done before, click that plus button, come to graphics, add a photo or logo, back to Dropbox, section title, app. And I'm going to increase to 150. Place this in the center. Where's those little crosshairs? There they are. Add a drop shadow. And increase the size. Okay, so now this would be for a 12 by 12 or a 10 by 10 page divider. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to export it and save to photos. Now I won't go through the process again on how to rotate it on an empty canvas. We've gone through that process twice. I think you guys understand how to go about doing that. So we're going to take the 3 sizes of our section dividers that we just created, and we're going to place them into a couple of different Project Life layouts. So let's open up our Project Life app. And we're going to navigate to the orange quadrant of the app here, which is the collage area. Let's select a different collage to place our 6 by 8 section divider in. We're going to scroll to that full 6 by 8A template right here in the bottom. Okay, click on the blue area and we're going to add the photo. So click on that icon up there, and I stored my 6 by 8 page divider in my camera roll, and I made 2 different ones. One is the first one that we did. It's the pattern is going vertically, and then there's the one that's the second one where we turned it horizontally. So that's the one I'm going to choose right now. And there you go. You have your 6 by 8 page divider all set and ready for you if that's the size album that you're going to be making. Okay, so I'm going to X out of this one. It's going to save it to my library. And now let's work on another 6 by 8 page, but this time we're going to choose a layout from the blue area, the blue quadrant. Okay, I'm going to choose a different layout and I'm going to navigate over to, I do have some 6 by 8 page layouts in here. Okay, design 6 by 8A. Okay, now I mentioned in the first video that these pieces, the elements, look best if we are using the squared corners. So I am going to change this to square corners. All right, I'm going to choose the top 4 by 6 pocket or placeholder. Then I will select the photo icon and navigate to my camera roll where it says all photos. And I will choose that very first 4 by 6 card that I created and then X out. All right, now for fun, why don't we add one of the 4 by 6 filler cards in this bottom placeholder here. So again, click on the blue, click on the photo icon, and this time we're going to have to navigate to our Dropbox or wherever you have your elements stored. I'm going to scroll all the way down at the bottom because that's where Dropbox is stored. Recipe kit, 4 by 6 filler card, and I'll just choose the first avocado horizontal one that I find. And there we have it. This would make a nice 6 by 8 section divider card for a 6 by 8 recipe album. Let's X out of there. And now why don't we navigate back over to the collage section. Let's change the layout and choose the 12 by 12 collage. Select the photo icon and we did, or I saved my, my large 12 by 12 section divider in my camera roll. I will choose it there. And there you go. I mean, this would make a great section divider for a 12 by 12, a 10 by 10, or an 8 by 8 recipe album. I have one more tip before the end of this video, and that is once you get all of your section divider pages set up, why don't you go ahead and store them into different folders. That way, when you're making your recipe cards, you can start to place them in the different folders within the Project Life app to keep everything organized. And so the way I'll show you how we can do this is I'm just going to come back over here to one of my completed collages, and I'm going to select that little export icon in the bottom right hand corner, and then I'm going to choose add to folder from that menu. And I have several folders here, but I want to add a new folder, and I'm just going to call this one appetizers. Then create folder. Now if I X out of my collage here and I come down to folders, you can see my appetizer folder is at the end, and it's ready to be filled with a bunch of different recipe pages. I hope you found this video tutorial helpful. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to drop me a note at kellymsill@gmail.com.